Hey, welcome into Hanging with the Hippos on this lovely Thursday evening. It's actually 48 degrees here in Pittsburgh. We're having a heat wave, and so I'm really excited. It's a beautiful night. I got some friends with me here. We're going to get into the meat of reselling. But before we start taking questions from the chat, we're going to go around the room and let everyone introduce themselves, and we'll start with Brian.
Hey, I'm Brian Hargis. I'm down here in Texas, so we've got shorts on.
Jealous.
It's in the 70s, or I think it may have gotten up to 80s today. But I'm Brian Hargis, so that's who I am. Used toy man.
What do you sell?
I sell anything. I say all the time, is I'll sell anything where I can make a buck. But my niche, my primary sales is in used music production gear. So that's like amplifiers and speakers and effects units and musical instruments, a little bit less than that, but that kind of stuff. And I get it from churches and things like that on consignment, sell them when they've done a renovation, those type of things.
Nice.
Do you personally test all that stuff?
I do, because I used to play in bands when I was younger, and so I have a rudimentary knowledge. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but
okay.
Yeah, you get that stuff. You have to test it because you're attesting that it's a good item. If you don't, it's coming back, and you're paying postage, right, on expensive stuff.
Very true.
Heavy stuff.
Nobody likes a return.
Karen.
Well, hi, I'm Karen Brooks. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I live very close to Star. I go by Avon Ridge on all of my platforms. And I am just like Brian. I will sell anything that I can make money on. But the last couple of years, I've really specialized in costume jewelry. Love costume jewelry. And I'm getting ready for doing some shows. And I got one of the busts curated here for the show already. Love that. And I've been doing really well with hard goods lately. The more unusual, the better. And I've been flipping those fairly well. So I'm expanding a little bit more into hard goods. But I will do clothing. Star and I go every month. We go shopping together. And I'll buy clothing. Like I said, if it's a deal, I'm buying it.
And it's 99 cents.
It's 99 cents.
That's a deal.
Yeah, that is a deal.
You guys have that? Like, is that your local thrift or what? Like,
so our Goodwill's on Sunday, our St. Vinny's on Saturdays, and Salvation Army is Monday through Friday. All three of them have 99-cent days.
And then we have red, white, and blue. I don't know if you have that around you. It's in other states too. It may go by another name. And they do like Wednesdays. They don't do a 99-cent day, but they do have different color tags. And you can get up to 75% off. And they do have some good things. They're more expensive typically than Goodwill, but they do get some nice things.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that around here. So you guys are lucky.
I haven't hit thrift stores enough to know if they're having sales or not. So
I built my entire business model around 99-cent day.
Yes, she does.
Brendan, tell us about yourself.
Okay. I'm Brendan. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I sell pretty much everything. I kind of try to niche down, but I still sell everything. Mostly though, like vintage and electronics. I move those mainly on eBay and Etsy. But I cross list everywhere. But I guess like everybody was saying, if I can make $20 on something, I'll pick it up. You know what I mean? Because especially
if I can make $10, I'll pick it up.
If I'm getting it from the bins, it's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm trying to, I don't know, not sell as much as everything. Like, kind of keep the categories down, but it's not really working out too well so far. And shout out to Joe, came in here. He's in the chat. He just came in here to hate. That's a real friend. That's a real friend,
man. So if you don't know me, if you followed one of these fine folks here and you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Star and I live in Pittsburgh. I sell a little bit of everything, a little bit of everywhere. I built my business with my partner, and after 8 years, he said, I hate this. I don't like reselling. I don't like thrifting. I found an accounting job. I'm out. So I do this by myself now, and he's an important little nerdy accountant. I focus mostly plus size women's jewelry, and that's different. I used to do jeans and plush, but I'm kind of pivoting away. And he has an eBay account that I still sell electronics on. I kind of took over his job. And Brendan's the one that taught me you can sell remotes on Etsy because the PCRs in that are like from the 90s.
Yes.
He taught me that at FlipCon, and so I started moving his remotes over there.
Yes. That's how long it's been, because I didn't know that you stopped moving plush. I thought you were still
I'm still shipping it every day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not purchasing it or really going on my way to find it. I'm clearancing it out and trying to move it.
Okay. You just got sick of it or what?
It takes up too much room, and I needed a whole wall in my garage for jewelry, so.
That's fair. That's fair.
But you know, she still looks at plush at the thrift store every time we go.
And I still talk to them, and they're my little friends.
I have no doubt.
Expensive. They're too expensive now.
Yeah, they're like $10. Like,
where do you got? Where at? A piece?
Goodwill. Yeah,
Goodwill.
for like little guys like this, $8.99, $9.99.
What?
Yeah.
My
that's
fancy
a
hippo.
lot.
She has on a necklace.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's
$10 a
great.
piece is insane.
Like $5.99 to $11.99, depending on who
Okay.
priced it that day, I
Wow.
guess.
I could do 5, not 10. Easy. Not $10. Unless it's like a $200 plush. That's the only way.
I didn't even know there were $200 plushes.
Oh, yeah.
I sold a 5 Nights at Freddy's for almost $500 once.
I am ignorant in that area.
You're not ignorant, you just don't know. I guess that's the same thing. So listen, chat, if you have questions about reselling, put it in the chat. We'll answer you. Anything from how we're going to handle postage increases, the weird thing they're doing on eBay with the promoteds. If you want to hear other resellers' takes on how we're going to deal with that, how we ship, how we source, how we stay on task, how we list, our processes, anything that you want to hear about. I always find that when you're in a room with other resellers and you hear how other people do something, there's always something you never thought about or you didn't think. You're like, aha, and you learn something.
True.
So whilst we wait for the chat, I have some questions.
Wow, fancy.
Whilst we wait. Let's ask you where your favorite place to source is. We'll start with Brian.
Well, actually, I was going to mention this since I just met Brendan and heard he was from Grand Rapids. I was recently up there this last summer, I think. It's this last summer. Time flies, but on what I call an inventory gathering trip. It's basically a vacation where I pick up things along the way. We actually drove with our RV up to Michigan, up to Mackinac Island, and then back down again. And I think we went, it's called whitewater rafting somewhere around there, but it really wasn't much of whitewater at all. It's more like a calm float down a little river.
Calm float.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But those are that's my favorite way to source. Not my most productive, I'll tell you, but it's my favorite is to get on the road. I started out by when I would go to visit my parents and my friends in Cincinnati, because we lived there for about 9 years. Actually, we lived in northern Kentucky, but everybody knows Cincinnati. So, but what we would do is I would get in my truck, get my trailer, and we'd head on the road to Knoxville and then up to Cincinnati. And while driving, which wasn't very smart, sometimes my wife would do it. We would look 2 or 3 hours ahead of us on Facebook Marketplace and see if we could find what we'd call a honey hole, like a church that was trying to get rid of a lot of equipment, or somebody who's getting out of the business of selling whatever. Something where you don't have to spend a whole lot of time and you get a whole bunch of items. And so we'd have the trailer behind us, so we'd pick it up. We'd pick up stuff along the way. Now, a lot of times it was just single items, but if I could make a few $100, whatever, on that item, I would do it. Now, the trick was that I had to make them an offer, like I said, 2-3 hours before I get there, and hope that they weren't at work and that they respond in time. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I would ever turn around, and drive back another hour, because that's 2 hours, is if it was just a really good find. But that's my favorite sourcing.
What was your best find on the road, like so far?
I would say one time we were on the way back, we hadn't picked up much, and this guy said that I saw he was selling several music related things like Bose speakers and some amplifiers and things like that. And I said, hey, I saw you had several things. Would you be interested in somebody buying everything? And he said, yes, I definitely would, because it was a church installation business, and he'd had a stroke, and so he was getting out of the business. And he said, it'd be a godsend if you came by and bought everything. And so we went. He gave me a list. We made an offer. We went back and forth. And that night, about, gosh, I don't know, it's 11 o'clock at night or something, is when we finally closed the door. And it was packed. It was like a 16x7 trailer, and it was packed to the very top with stuff, probably overweight for that trailer. But we finally shut the doors, and we took off from, I believe that was in Little Rock. I think it was Little Rock. And we drove home, and that was at least a 6-7 hour trip. But we made it home, and I cannot remember how much I spent on that stuff, but it was a huge amount of materials, both used and new, and that was great.
There you go.
Okay, well, I love to go to church sales. I just see amazing things at church sales. Unfortunately, they've really caught on now, and you can wait an hour in line to get into some of the church sales here. Before, it wasn't like that. But I love the church sales. And then it's followed by, I used to do a lot of auctions at one time. We had a lot of auctioneers here. Got some great things at the auctions, but now most of them are all online. It just takes something away. I like the thrill of being there at that auction, and like, yeah, I want it. And meeting the people. So I haven't been to a live auction probably 15 years now.
I haven't even seen any, Karen. I've had a lot of success at online auctions, but I don't see live ones anymore at all.
Yeah, there was a gentleman, I think he's passed on, and he would have 2 or 3 a week at one time. And if you were a regular there, he'd gavel, he'd hit that hammer down fast sometimes, making sure that you got a good deal and come back all the time. But I think he's passed on. And there's some other people that had the live auctions, but now they're not doing them. They took everything online. So what can I say? I've been on some of those, and I actually got a really good deal. I know nothing about art. I kind of like dabble a little bit. I know enough to say, hey, this looks like it might be worth something. But I found too, when you bid it online, pictures sometimes make something look really good that isn't that good. But they had 2 Oriental prints, and they were all professionally framed, and they showed the back, and they said it was like museum quality mounting. So I said, somebody's not going to pay the money for a museum quality mounting unless it's worth something. Well, I got these 2 huge Oriental prints, all framed. They had the corner edges on the frames, whatever, for $15 for the pair. All right. So I started looking, and I started Google, imaging them. And I think they were wood blocks of a famous artist. and I listed one on eBay, and I put $600 on it. Ridiculous. You know what? I would have been happy with $45. Okay. I get an offer from an international buyer. Okay. And he offered me $400. It's like slam dam. I'm selling out. You know, so fast. I go, now how am I going to ship this? So I have a U-Haul store down the street here, and I went and they have those big screen TV boxes. And I said, you know what? The box is like 15 or between 15 and 25. I don't know what it was, but I figured that is going to get. I had to ship it to Kentucky, which is good. Thank God I didn't have to ship it, you know, overseas. But I packed it in there. I packed it real solid. I got it, and that was the largest sale that I ever made on eBay. I still have the other print down in my basement, and I've got to get that listed at some point. But
you need to list it at 700 this time, girl.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It was like so fast, and it was like holy mackerel. I just couldn't believe it. And it's like, I love eBay international shipping. I love sending it to a point here in the United States, and they take care of it. Because I was on eBay when they didn't do that, and you had to ship it overseas. And I didn't have bad experiences with it, really, but I never shipped anything large. It was always small, like jewelry or, you know, a small piece of clothing. So that was probably my best ever eBay sale.
That was the next question.
What was the best? That was it.
Your best eBay sale?
That was it. I answered. I read your mind. Yeah.
All right, Brendan, where do you like to source?
My main, I'd say my favorite place is probably estate sales because I always find good stuff there. Right now it's winter up here, so they're kind of like here and there. They don't have as much, but once spring hits, there'll be more. Other than that, I mean, I hit the bins, but I like to hit the bins in like other places. Like when I'm traveling, like if I go to a meetup or something, a place, bins I've never been to, or like Brian would say, marketplace, stuff like that, because it's just different area. Like marketplace in my area is not good. It used to be until a couple of years ago, and then now everybody wants eBay prices and doesn't want to do eBay work. So you know, so yeah, so yeah, if there's no estate sales, otherwise my third one would be garage sales. But I have my best luck at probably estate sales. And since we're talking about it, my best sale on eBay has been I bought a sewing kit for a bunch of sewing kits for $5 a piece, and one of them I sold for $950.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that went to a movie prop place.
I think it was just somebody that used it, and because she messaged me, she's like, I've been looking for this forever, and like I'm glad that it's in great condition and stuff. And that's good to hear. I'm glad it's in good hands, you know. So
was it like a Victorian sewing kit or something?
No, it was a Singer sewing kit. It was in a little box, probably like this, and I think I had 4 or 5 pieces in it. And
oh my gosh, it was like all the different pedals, like the needle. Oh my god.
Yeah, and they were all those kits I bought were like from the 50s and 60s, so they were definitely vintage. And
wow,
I was like, I can't believe I got $5 and to turn into that much is crazy. So
that's crazy.
Well, Karen, I respect you that you weren't upset that it went so quickly. You know,
no, he's like, you know what? Turn over that money. Give me. You know what? If somebody makes me a decent offer, even like this year, I would sometimes just hold out, and I got some offers, and I'm still making money, not as much as I would have liked it, but I was holding it. Like stuff it seemed like it was a year old was selling, you know? And it's like, I don't care. I want the money. Boom. Let's turn over that money and let's get it going. If somebody makes me a decent offer and I can make some money on it, I typically will take it. I mean,
so my favorite place to source, getting us back on track here. You guys know that I live in my pajamas.
That's a fact.
And I don't like to leave the house.
It's also a fact.
So I like to buy out my friends when they change niches. I've bought out approximately 4 friends of all of their clothing items in the last 2 years, and their plush and their Build-A-Bear clothes. I like that way the best because it's my friend. They're giving me a great deal. We're helping each other. I know it's good stuff. Some of my friends are so awesome. They'll wash the stuff before they send it to me because they know about my germ thing. But barring not having friends, I just like to shop online. I like to have it just delivered to my door. I like ThreadUp. I have a jewelry person I buy from on Etsy, and I get $6 a pound for my jewelry. And I'm starting to look at the Goodwill auctions because all my 10th and Main girls love those, and they're all addicted to them. So I've been looking at them. We will see how that goes. I'm kind of just peeking right now because I've seen how it can go. They're like 2 hours later and they're buying all this stuff and they're getting great prices, but I don't want to spend time thrifting, honestly. I don't want to go out and do it, and I don't want to do it from here. I want to just go, here's the money, give me 300 items, and I want to spend time listing rather than sourcing.
Right.
Because I'm weird and I like to list.
That makes sense. Well, is it because you don't like to leave your house? I think that's part, plays into it.
That's a big part of it. And now that I'm on my own, I don't have my pack mule and I have my disability, so it's harder for me to go. Karen helps me when we go. She takes Keith's place as the new pack mule.
Yeah, I take all her stuff in the car, and we go grocery shopping because there's Aldi's right next door to the Goodwill, and I'll carry her stuff into the car. So
yeah, she's a good friend.
It's all about helping each other. Hey, we got some great questions in there. Did you see that?
Yeah, so we'll circle back around to everyone has answered the best eBay sale but me and Brian. So I'll just tell you real quickly, I've already mentioned it. I had a 5 Nights at Freddy's Bonnie Bunny that was like half as tall as me, which isn't that big. It's like half the size of a hobbit, but it was pretty large. And I used to have someone who used to source plush for me, and I paid her double what she paid at the Benz. So I probably paid like $3 for this rabbit, and he sold for close to $500.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was it like because I found something like the bins like that. It was a Friday Nights at Freddy's, but it was like I got like $60 for it, but it was like a Hot Topic exclusive or something like that. That's why it was so like.
It's
that's
just
why it was
big.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I think it was like a unique face, like different, like all the Bonnie Bunnies looked this way, and this one had like a different face or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but I will never forget. Like, I sold a rabbit for $500.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you list it for that.
I'm a positive person, and I always list high and hope for the best.
Was there any listed when you listed yours? Do you remember?
I think there were some. You know what it was? You just made me remember why mine was different. Mine had metal teeth.
Oh, okay.
So all the other ones that were smiling, they had that white teeth from like the movie and the video game.
Mm-hmm.
But this one had like these metal chomping sharp teeth. And there were none like mine that were listed, and where there were some that had sold for $500-$600. So I'm like, well, mine's the only one like this, so I'm going high. It was the teeth.
Yeah. I can't believe that, like, it's $500 for a plush. That's insane.
Video game nerds are wild.
I guess.
Right? Right, Keith? Brian, what was yours? And then we'll get to these questions in the chat.
Well, mine was from a church. A church had called me to, and I always make a joke that I'm going to hell for this one. But actually, I spoke to the gentleman who sold all the stuff to me for the church. And he was like, hey, if you made out like a bandit, that's great. You helped us out. So, God bless you. And I was like, thank you. It made me feel that was like actually a couple of years after this happened. But anyway, so he calls me up and he says, I've got this church here in Texas. I won't go into exactly where it was, where he said they've never thrown anything away. And they've been, here for 100+ years. And so he said, would you come down and see if you want to buy this stuff? And so I did. And we made a deal. I said, I'll buy this stuff. But I'm going to, half of what I'm offering is the service of taking stuff away that nobody wants. And I'm getting rid of trash. The rest of it I'm taking. So went in there and we agreed on like $2,500 for everything. And so I filled up my trailer with stuff. And there happened to be a 5-octave set of handbells, choir handbells that I honestly had no idea what they were worth. I couldn't find anybody who was selling those except for individually. And so I actually put them up for what I thought was an outrageous price. A woman bought the 5 octaves for $16,000.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I said I think I'm going to hell for that one. But I was honest with them. I tried to do the best I could.
Brian, God would want you to succeed.
Yes, I believe so too. But I did really well. It was actually a woman who wanted the handbells to go to her church, either in South or North Dakota, because she wanted the church to get into that. I certainly hope that they agreed to do that, because that's a lot of money, and I've spoken to more than one church where the worship director has said, "Yeah, I've got this woman. She's got all this money, and she's going to buy us stuff, but she wants us to do this. She wants us to have a choir again, those kind of things, and we really don't want to go that direction. So I don't know what we're going to do." But anyway, they were really, really nice, and so that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
What items that are out there to resell that do you wish you knew more about so that you could make more money?
You said I would go first on this. I think that one of the keys to making a good money is having your average sales price as high as possible. And so there are a lot of things out there that sell for very, very small prices. And the thing is, you're spending almost just as much time listing a $5 item as you are a $500 item. And so there is some recording, in my niche, being music production gear, there's some recording gear that I would like to have known a lot more about so that I can fully test it and make sure that everything's working the way it should. Because you don't want to sell something for $3,000 or $4,000 and have it come back, especially because you're selling it and you don't know for sure if everything works. So you've got to trust them. And I don't think I've ever been really ripped off, but there's always the chance that somebody will buy something that they have that's been destroyed and get yours and send theirs back to you. And when you're dealing with a lot of money, you don't want that to happen. But like I said, I don't think it's happened.
Who's next? Karen? Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably would like to learn more about some guy things like baseball cards. It's like I know nothing about cards, and you see cards everywhere, and it's like, you know what? Am I missing something? But I just don't have a clue. And then I do like electronics, but I have no idea if there's they always say, we'll buy it. There's minor fixes or rip them apart and sell them as parts. I have no clue how to do that. But one thing I have learned is when you start to sell something, really try to learn everything that you can about that product. And I'm really learning a lot about jewelry. I know quite a bit, and no one taught me. I just started to research it and become the expert, at least in one field. And there are things that, especially in jewelry, that there's designers that I've never heard of that are worth a lot of money. Stuff from Paris and Egypt and all these places around the world. And it really pays for you to just really be the expert in one area, at least, because you are going to find those hidden gems that other people have no clue about.
When you said that you love costume jewelry, so that certainly helps in your learning process, because I wouldn't be able to learn about costume jewelry because I probably couldn't stand it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. But like, you know about all of the audio equipment, and that's really cool. And I wish, like, yeah, I mean, I see like this stuff laying around too. It's like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? And it's like, I don't know. If it works, that's fine. But if there's a switch or a plug and it's simple to fix, I had no clue how to fix it. So that's like my dream list.
For me, it's like I would say art, because I see it all the time and a lot of it, and I just don't know anything about it. Like how to even ship it, if it's in a frame or like any artist, like I just have no idea. I go to some estate sales and it's all art, and I don't know anything about it, and so I just like kind of gloss over it. Second would probably be jewelry. I've sold like watches here and there, like vintage watches, but like costume jewelry, I have no idea what to look for or like what styles are popular or anything like that. And I was just at a sale today, and they had a whole table full of jewelry, and I don't know anything about it. So I'm just like, skip over it. And I'm sure I'm missing money. I'm sure I missed a bunch of money, but I don't know. Maybe I gotta start doing research. That's probably the problem. And
So I learned costume jewelry by using Liz Perfectly's AI. I just bought a 5-pound box for $30 and took photos of it and let the AI tell me the keywords. And after a year of doing that, I now know all the keywords, and that's how I learned. So you can research, or you can let AI do it for you. I know there's a lot of people that are against AI. I'm not. Like, if it's going to help me make money, bring it on.
Do you still buy those boxes of jewelry?
Yeah, I have one back here. I'm going to crack open tomorrow night or next week on our raid train on Whatnot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were on Whatnot.
And Brendan,
that's a recent since Black Friday.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I have an art thing for you. Years ago, when I was first starting out, I'm not sure if I picked it up at a flea market or an auction, but I got a painting and it cost $100. And it's like, I wasn't spending $100 back then. I was just starting out. But they told me that it came from the Ringling Museum, down in Sarasota, Florida. And it kind of it was a white frame, had palm trees, and it was like of a monk in a monastery thing. Well, you know what? Tried to research it, really couldn't find anything. And I actually have it sitting on the wall in the living room here. Lo and behold, now that we have Google imaging here, I did research on it. And apparently it is a Spanish Spanish artist. And he's in the museums in Spain. And it's like, holy crap, it's got to be worth something if it's a museum piece.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to take it somewhere like a Sotheby's or something, or if they're in town appraising stuff, find out what it is. But it just, when I heard the history of it, and I had no reason to doubt the person that told me that.
Yeah.
I took a chance.
So for me, I think I'm good where I'm at. And that sounds hokey, but I am with Karen. You should learn everything about one thing before you add new things. And I recently, in the last year or so, made the switch to learning about jewelry and a lot of different plus size tops for women. So until I'm feeling like I'm, good to go on those, I don't want to add anything else, because I am still doing the plush and the jeans. And I am kind of adding a little bit of hard goods here and there. And I also took over the electronics and video games from Keith. So I have all the stuff on my plate, and I feel like I'm good. And when something intrigues me, like jewelry did, and I'm like, maybe I want to learn about that, I'll know when it's time. But I feel, as far as niches and categories and platforms, you always want to make sure you're good before you add more. Don't start selling on 8 platforms all at once. Get real good on one, add a second, and then a third, and do the same with your categories.
Did you totally get out of remotes?
I don't purchase them anymore.
Okay.
But we still have a bunch around. That's just, I'm not interested in doing all the work and stuff that he used to do with me.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So whatever we had, I don't know, we had this big it was not a Gaylord, but one of those big tall boxes.
Yeah.
We had one of those left when he took the accounting job. And so I'm like, I'll work through these, but I'm not buying any more.
Remotes like TV remotes, DVD remotes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to put any more of those. I'm kind of working through everything that we have, and then I guess I'll reassess. The only thing I'm really buying right now is jewelry all the time because I unbox those on Whatnot. And when I go thrifting with Karen, I look for plus size women's clothing. I'm going to pull up the next question.
All
I
right.
took a break in selling, and if, of course, I have a huge money pile. It's okay to call it a death pile, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those resellers that has to put a positive flair on everything. It can be a death pile because it's overwhelming. And if it has a negative connotation, you'll probably take care of it more quickly. But should she concentrate on listing current season items or start with spring items?
Well, I don't sell clothing. I do have some clothing that I have listed, but I don't really do clothing. But I think it would make sense to start doing with spring items because people may start looking for that soonish. But then again, what do I know? I don't sell clothing. I actually have a problem. My problem is I have a money pile, a death pile, but then I get an opportunity and I have a sickness, so I've got to go buy that opportunity. I can't pass anything up. And then, of course, when I get it, all I want to do is dig into the new stuff, inventory it, test it, and get it listed. And what actually contributes to my death pile are accessories or remotes. Say I get this bunch of electronics or something from a church, and I've got 3 remotes that don't go to anything, and so those are the things that I put aside, the things that aren't really hugely valuable. But I'm trying to get through those right now, and I'm trying to just, what is it? Trish with List Perfect would say she would cull it. She would get rid of various things if she said that doesn't match what I sell, or that's worthless, or that's going to require repair, and I'm never going to get around to that. So, but that's my opinion on clothing. So, Karen.
Okay, what I would do is I'd be a combination of both. But right now, it is like cruise and go to Florida and go to Mexico season. Like after the holidays, people got gifted vacations and they got money and they put cruises down. I can't tell you how many people I know are going on cruises. So I would get like any swimsuits that you have, any beachwear that you have, sundresses, beach bags, things like that. I would get those listed, but I would still do a little bit of transitional kind of winter into spring type clothing, because you're going to have people that, you're going to get the warm, balmy days like we have in the 40s here in Pittsburgh. And I've saw people in shorts today, and we were all, bundled up. But I would do transitional items and leave the real, like the heavy coats and everything, put them a little bit more on the back burner, concentrate on like the cruise wear, the vacation wear, and then add a little bit of the transitional items. But you know what? And if you get your pile down, go back, and even if it's 90 degrees outside, get those winter things listed, because you have people that are going to different parts of the world. It's a very mobile society. They're going to be going to like Greenland, Iceland. So many people go to Iceland now because the fares are so reasonable, at least from Pittsburgh. And you need warmer clothes. And where are you going to find them in June? You're not going to find a winter coat if you need one. So that would be my plan of attack. Do the cruise wear, do transitional, and then go back and do the winter type items till you get your pile down.
For me, I don't know. Like if I have something in the wintertime, I'd want to list it like right now, because I mean, don't get me wrong, people buy coats in like summer and like shorts in wintertime. It happens. But for me, like if it's wintertime, it depends where you're at. But I would just get all my winter stuff listed. But to Karen's point too, like spring break is gonna be around the corner. People are gonna go away, like Mexico or whatever. I don't know. I would just like, for me, I just want stuff gone. So I just want, like, if it's winter time, I want it like to get it listed so I can get it moving ASAP. But yeah, I agree though with the transitional stuff too, like, because I mean, it's already January. It's getting warm, like you guys said. So yeah, just get it. I just get it all up. Just post all of it. All of it.
Get it
Post all of
done.
it. Yeah, just get it all up.
So
there.
I like to tell people list all the things all the time, especially if you sell internationally, because across the pond, it's the opposite season. It's summer there when it's winter here, and it's winter there when it's summer here. But if you want to prioritize, follow the stores. What does Walmart have out right now? That's what you want to be listing. Whatever Walmart has on the floor for sale is what you want to be listing. When they start putting out Valentine's Day, you want to put out Valentine's Day. When they start putting out swimwear and shorts, you want to do it as well. And I say that because the big box stores like Walmart and Target have spent thousands of dollars and have thousands of employees that do the research on when best to put these items out on the market. So for free, you can just eyeball their store and take all that research for yourself and apply it to your store. So I try to follow the trends of the stores. I also keep in mind that across the pond, and I'm like Brendan, just list all the things all the time, but prioritize. Don't list Christmas right now. List Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. Maybe list some coats, maybe some raincoats. It's spring, it's rainy, right? I wouldn't probably be listing booty shorts right now unless I didn't have anything else. Then I would.
I would, and I model them too, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a selling platform other sellers enjoy but you can't seem to get the hang of and just don't like?
Well, this is actually very closely related to the next question as well. eBay is the dominant. eBay is everything for me. I'd say 95% or more of my sales are on eBay. And then if you're in my niche, there's reverb.com that is really good that's music instruments and music production gear only. And so that's really good for me. But for others, you probably wouldn't pass it up. My third site is Facebook Marketplace, and you think, that's a messed up marketplace, no doubt about it. They don't care about it, and people don't care. There's some kind of spoof video about what happens on Facebook. Somebody says, "Hey, is that still available?" And then you say, "Yes, it is," and they walk away. It's just they don't respond. But anyway, but Facebook Marketplace, when they do show up, not only is it a sourcing opportunity for me, but when they show up, I can usually cross-sell them on something else. So if they're buying a guitar or a guitar amplifier from me, I say, well, you're going to need, a guitar cord or a guitar tuner. And that I show them what I have, my wares, and they'll buy it. And then, but like Mercari, for one, I'm getting off of. They've just done some things that I don't really care for. I don't like they're really for collectibles, I think, and gamers and stuff. So I don't know. I don't sell very well there. And then Etsy, I'm still going with this way on that. I don't like that I have to pay 20 cents every listing, and it renews and charges me another 20 cents. But I know some people are very successful there. So that's what I have to say.
Okay. Well, the platform that I just really can't get a hang of is Facebook Marketplace. I've had some bad experiences. I listed some things. It was like last summer, because everybody says, hey, you can list this stuff and people will come and buy it. I was like, oh my God, I got like 10 people wanting to come and buy it. And it was all spoof. Okay. Yeah. When can you come? I can meet, blah, blah, blah. It was all spoof. Really got a bad taste in my mouth. And then I started to look to see, well, are these people on there or whatever? I got a little smarter about it, but I said, I just don't have time for this. So I let it go and I tried it again. Somebody keeps on saying, try Facebook Marketplace. Well, I did sell something on Marketplace. I sold some brand new in-box Christmas decorations that I never used. And the lady did come, and she was my very first sale. But then I put other stuff on there, and it's just like, it's just not worth my time on it. So that's one I just don't like. And if somebody like twists my arm and says, well, you should try it, I'll try it. But I just don't like this thing. I won't let them come to my house. I want to meet them. I'm very close to a shopping center, so I meet them in the shopping center. But it's like, you know what? You text me when you're on your way, and then I'll go down there, because I'm not going down there and standing, like a fool with no one showing up. So that's my. I really don't have a hang of that platform at all.
For me, it's not that I can't get a hang of it. It's just like for Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, and Posh, I just don't like any of those. I use them, but it's like they're so the same. The sales are so random, and I don't know. It's really not worth the time. The only reason I really do it is because it takes me no time to cross list over. So that's really the only reason I'm still on those platforms. But especially with Marketplace, like everybody was saying, like people don't show up, or they 17 people want your one thing, and then you got to wait for, take your time out of the day to wait for somebody to show up and that. Or the only thing I really like about it is when I get a sale on and I can ship it, because it's super easy, just throw it in a box or whatever. But I don't really get a lot of those sales anymore, like with shipping. So, but yeah, for those three, they're just not my thing. I mean, I'm on them, but if they were gone tomorrow, I wouldn't really care. So it's my take.
I got the hang of them all. I just don't feel like, I don't know. Like I don't feel like there's one I can't get the hang of, but some do better than others. And I don't feel like there's any rhyme or reason sometimes to that. It's just the Marketplace. Each one has its own audience and reach. Obviously, eBay is global. It's mentioned in books. It's mentioned in TV shows and movies. Everyone knows what eBay is. And like 3 people that aren't in the UK might know what Depop is. So, you can do what you can do, and you can learn them and even get the hang of them and their algorithms and the tricks. But that doesn't mean you're going to be successful on each one. And that leads us into our next question. Real
quick though, do you do well on Depop, or do you sell on Depop?
I just started selling in Depop on December 18th, and I have had 6 sales.
Okay. My birthday.
I think it was December 18th. Don't get your panties in a bunch.
Brian just turned 28 on December 18th.
I've had a few sales. I'm pleased with the amount of sales I've had versus the work I've put in.
Yeah.
But I do sell on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Mercari, whatnot, and Depop.
Okay.
And 10th and Main. We'll be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern on 10th and Main. I will put a link in the chat. 7 of us are going to be doing a live sale. We do it there sometimes and sometimes on whatnot. On the YouTube, we don't pay fees, so we can give you a better deal.
There you go.
So that's my plug for 10th and Main. But what's your best-selling platforms?
eBay, followed by Reverb. I do wish, and I was thinking about this. I ask List Perfectly, easy for me to say, to take on Reverb.com all the time, but I know they're not going to, because it's such a niche down site. It probably doesn't have enough people for them to deal with that. But I'm like, what else is out there? Why can't any of these sites gain, the seller? I mean, the buyers like eBay. Now I know eBay's been doing it for 30 years, because I've been on there for 26. But I just wish there was another site that would get some traction, because I love eBay, but I would like some other places that are going to sell well, and I can't find anything.
Well, this is an interesting question for me, and I will give you a general answer that I think it just depends, and one can ebb and flow. Give you a perfect example. I started on eBay, Then I went over to Amazon, and I was a fairly mid-sized Amazon seller for years. And then they changed their policies, whatever. I got into Walmart. Not this year, but prior 3 years, crushed it on Walmart. Now Walmart's changing all their policies. A lot of things have changed. So I kind of went back to eBay, which what I started with. And this past year, eBay crushed it for me. So it's like, I'm a big person, diversify, things change, your life changes. And my life has changed since I first started selling, with a lot of different things going on. So always have your hands in at least 2 platforms, never be in a sole platform. But this past year, definitely eBay has been my favorite platform. I've done the best on eBay.
We're waiting on
Brendan
Brendan. Did he freeze?
He's
Looks
frozen.
like he froze.
We're all just waiting for him. Man, I gotta say eBay too, and I don't like saying that. I have such a love-hate relationship with those commies.
It's like, you shouldn't say that, sir.
I will say what I want. I live in America, and this is my YouTube channel. I have a love-hate relationship with eBay. There's a lot I love about it, and there's a lot I leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But what else can I do? Because again, it has the biggest global reach. If I left eBay, I would lose over half of my income probably. Etsy and Poshmark make me a lot of money, but I don't know that they make me eBay money. If anyone from eBay is listening, I love you. But it is my best-selling platform. But as far as items selling for a lot more money individually, I'd have to say Etsy is my girl. I love Etsy. Items sell for a lot of money there. You can sell a piece of costume jewelry for $40 on Etsy without batting an eye. And on eBay, they're like offering you $2. So that's the difference. We did lose Brandon. Hopefully he comes back in. I just got a message from him. I'm sorry, we are having his power went out.
Oh, no.
A thunderstorm. Oh, no. Okay, well, we'll have to reschedule him back on later. So, yeah, he's out, thunderstorm. And I got a message from Lori as well. So she's not coming either. Obviously, we're almost done. I don't.
I tried Amazon. Well, I didn't really try it. I signed up for it, and then I read as much as I could and tried to understand it. I think I might have started listing a few things, but because of now Star seems to be, no, she's not. Because of what is it? You had to have some kind of code or something, a barcode or something.
Oh, they start transparency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so I never could stand it, and because I was trying to sell used things, I was like I had to do my own buy them or something, and so I gave up. I said no, Amazon's not for me.
Yeah, they banned used items because you used to be able to sell used electronics. They banned that now. I mean, I started on Amazon when it was like the Wild West. Anything went. I'm serious. I'm really serious. Anything went. And being a third-party seller, and I was doing a lot of retail arbitrage. I mean, day after Christmas, man, I was gone all week buying and flipping it and selling it. So, but now, in my humble opinion, they do not want third-party sellers. They do. That's my opinion. Other people may disagree, but they've just banned so many categories that I used to make big money on, and it's just not worth me. And then they would write you up for all kinds of violations, and you never know. Why am I getting a violation? You just don't know.
Well, I also heard if you were successful, they would take over what you were selling.
Well, they have. I knew personally knew multi-million-dollar sellers that were importing from China. And then they had this thing that you could use their logistics to import from. Well, Everybody that was a multi-million-dollar seller imported from China, Amazon came out with the Amazon brand. And literally people were out of business overnight. It happened to more than one people that I personally knew. So
we sold on Amazon briefly, and by we I mean him. That was, when he took the accounting job, two of the caveats I had is I'm not doing Shopify and I'm not doing Amazon. So we're cutting those out of the business. And I wrapped up a lot of like the big box I was talking about, the remotes and stuff. But there's things that he did that I just have no interest in. And anyone can learn how to do anything. But like you were saying about the jewelry, Brian, you have no interest in it. If it isn't bringing you joy, I don't see why you're doing it. When we all had to work 9-to-5 jobs and we worked for supervisors and bosses outside of the house, and that was your only option to pay your bills and take care of your family and put food on the table, you often had to do things you didn't want to do, go places you didn't want to go, work around people you didn't like. There was a lot going on. But now that we all work for ourselves, I'm not going to do anything or be around anybody that isn't bringing me joy, period. So I say all that to say, that was a long way around to say, when we did do the Amazon, it was a very ugly experience. And like Karen, I had a lot of friends on there that had been scammed and ripped out of thousands and thousands of dollars. And it seems easy for someone to get angry at you and buy a bunch of stuff and do bad reviews and returns and just mess up your whole account willy-nilly. So there's just things I won't deal with. I'm not going to do it. I don't work for anyone else but me. So, and that's advice for all of you. If you find that you're listing and sourcing items that make you miserable, that you just aren't enjoying, find something that makes you happy and find something that is enjoyable and fun. Karen and I have fun when we do our jewelry. And I know Brian loves, I call it his music stuff because I don't know anything about it. But
my wife calls it the black stuff because music production gear a lot of times is black. So she's like, his black stuff, whatever that is.
The music stuff. But yeah, just find something that brings you joy and make sure every day that you're working in a productive environment, don't be miserable. Nobody needs that. We all dealt with that with our corporate or blue collar jobs or whatever we had before. And so that's my TED Talk. Thank you for coming today.
Well, I'm sorry we lost Brendan because I was going to ask him about this. What his technique on estate sales is, because I had gotten to the point where I was bored. So I said, let's go estate sailing, honey. And my wife and I would go. And our technique was to go on the last day, when it's 50 to 75% off and just try to get the crumbs of what was left. And that worked out really well for a couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden I ran into a dry spell where everything was really picked over and I wasn't finding anything I was interested in. And so I would like to know what, if people are successful at estate sales and what their way of doing that is.
Yeah, I see somebody just popped in and say they went to TJ Maxx to see the yellow tags they can get. I was at TJ Maxx on Tuesday. There were no yellow tags in my store.
Which one did you go to?
I went to the one in the North Hills.
I usually go to Waterworks. Brian's like, what the hell are these girls talking about?
Yeah.
What are yellow tags and what is Waterworks?
Yeah, but they usually mark down. They mark down by week. Okay. And it's like I looked all over that store. There was not one yellow tag in that store. I was surprised they still had a lot, the clothing. Oh my gosh, the clothing they had left.
Really?
I was shocked. And a lot of
I must live in a hole because I didn't hear about any yellow tag sales.
Yeah. Well, they have markdowns, and the best markdown to take is a yellow tag markdown.
And that's all the time.
All the time. I mean,
okay. Because sometimes throughout the year they have their big woohoo Woo!
They have their big sales, yeah, and they'll mark down all through the year. Like it'll be a red tag, then it might go 2 times with 2 different red tag stickers, then it'll go down to a yellow tag, and it might go 2 or 3 times on a yellow tag. But you can pick up phenomenal deals.
This sounds like a field trip for our eBay meetup or seller circles.
They should be starting to mark down around the 10th.
This sounds like a field trip.
This weekend, I'm thinking they might mark down.
Well, I guess we're at the hour mark. I don't see any more questions coming in. Did you guys want to ask or say anything else?
Shot my load.
I don't have much more to share. Just I hope all of you will actually start selling if you haven't. It's a great thing to do. I've always enjoyed it. I've told tons and tons of people how successful I am and that they should do it too. And I've had very, very, very few people take me up on that. I don't know why.
Well, it's a lot of hard work, and I think a lot of people don't realize that because there's so many YouTube channels that aren't like mine. I'm not lumping myself in here because I'm not like this, but they make it look easy and glamorous, and it's not. And that's why I try to show the reality of it. Is it awesome? Do I walk across the hall in my pajamas? Is that my commute? Yeah. Do I do what I like all day? But it's hard work. You have to really put in the time and the hard work, and you have to do a lot of different things. You have to learn how to be an accountant, customer service, a shopper, whatever. So there's a lot of hard work, but I think it's worth it because I would rather work hard for my bank account than for some dingbat on the 13th floor's second vacation this year.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, that's one reason I haven't expanded is because, I spent a decade or more managing people in the financial services industry, and I have no desire to manage anyone ever again. So that's why I haven't expanded, because I don't want employees.
That was something Keith and I said from the very beginning. The minute this gets so large that we can't control it between the two of us, I mean, he still helps me with shipping and certain things, but the minute it's so big that it's like, oh, we need someone else, we're scaling down. I don't want to deal with an employee. I just don't. I'm probably too much of a control freak. I am too type A. I like things done the way I like them, but I also don't trust anyone else. I hear stories from my friends about paying people who sit on their phone all day and do nothing and don't take good pictures, and they have to redo everything they did in the first place. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. I'll make less money before I hire employees. I will scale my business down for sure. I mean, if you have employees and it works for you, good. I'm glad. Everybody should be doing whatever works for them. That's for sure. Not everyone is me. Not what I do will work for everybody else, but that's just not for me. Brian, I can't deal with people that way.
Yeah, I remember. So back in '98, I had a used and collectible toy store. More used. It was supposed to be a used toy store, but people kept on bringing me collectibles, and so it became more and more a collectible toy store. And also, I started selling everything on eBay. And so after about 2 years of that, I said, you know what? I don't need this $3,000 a month rent on the store. Nobody's bringing me stuff. I still have to garage sale. And I think I'll go back to the corporate life. But during that time, I had a few employees, but I had one that was awesome, and I trusted him. He did everything when I was out. But I also remember the young girl that I hired, and she just, I don't know, she didn't have a clue. She wasn't motivated, and I just had to fire her. And I hated doing that. I felt so bad about it, but I was like, you don't want to be here. I don't want you here. Here's your last check. See you later. But the other guy, that was a blessing. he had a child that was had a defect, a deformation or something, and he was going to have to go through several iterations of surgery, and the guy couldn't make more than a certain amount, to get to remain on welfare or whatever he was that would pay for the surgeries. So he could only work a certain number of hours for me, and he had to take a job that I was able to provide. But that was really a nice thing to do, to be able to do for him. But yeah, I just I don't want to deal with all that again. So I'm just me and me alone, really. I mean, my wife helps every once in a while, but
Yeah.
oh, and my son will pack things for me while I'm on my inventory gathering trips.
Yeah. Well, Keith still does the shipping, like I said, because of my bad back. He helps carry stuff in. Between him and Karen, I can go thrifting once in a while. And I wash everything. Most people know that I wash everything I thrift. And so our laundry room is at the back of the garage, which we don't park in. We use it. That's our inventory. So he can just take it from the car and put it in there, and I can run the loads of laundry, but he's got to carry them up. So he still helps in a lot of ways, but he's the only employee I can tolerate because I like him. And your show is better now that Brendan is gone. I'll let him know you said that. Yeah, so he still helps, but I like him. But I really feel I don't have the right kind of personality or temperament. If someone walked in here and didn't do things the right way, I know myself. Listen, I don't want to be on Dateline. So
Yeah.
do you have any last words of wisdom for the people before we leave?
Get on this. Sorry.
Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead, Karen.
No, I was just saying, just like Star, do what you love, because it's not worth not doing something that you don't love, because you don't realize how it affects you. It affects you emotionally, physically. And while you think, oh, this is not bothering me, it catches up with you. I guarantee it catches up with you. So do what you love. And, it's not always about the money. It really isn't. Sometimes you have to be happy, just kind of getting by, but loving what you do.
That's good advice. Brian?
I'd say start slowly. Learn what you can. Start, like you said, start on one small platform with something and but then save your money and build up. And sooner or later, you can be doing this full time and not have to work for the man.
Yeah, for sure. So my advice is something you guys have heard for 8 years, and I'm never going to stop telling you. Routine, routine, routine is the cornerstone of success and balance in your life. If you don't have work-life balance, what are you doing? You can't just work all the time. You're going to be miserable. And you can't fiddle fart around all the time, because then you're not going to make money. So you have to find that balance. And a lot of people struggle with that. And I think it's because they don't have routines. They don't have schedules. They don't have a way of doing things and processes that allow them to say, this is my work time, and be fully functional in that time and maxing out their productivity in that time. So then that this time is their time off. If you can get those routines and maximize what you're putting out, you will be doing more work in less time and find the way to balance. Trust me, if I told you everything I did in the day, you'd be like, no way, you're lying. And it's not. I'm not. I just have really good time management. And I don't let time go by. So for instance, today, while I was uploading videos to YouTube, waiting that 12 minutes, I was building listings on List Perfectly or organizing things for my whatnot tomorrow, instead of just sitting here and watching that timer. So just think about your time management and your routines. I'd like to thank Brendan, who is not here, for coming, and Brian and Karen, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Star. We appreciate being with you and meeting all the wonderful people on YouTube.
Yeah, and hey, let's put in your I know where to grab Karen's. Brian, do you have a link tree?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
So where can we find you?
On eBay. Used Toy Man is my my ID.
Okay, Used Toy Man on eBay. If you're part of the List Perfectly community, you'll see him around there. I put Karen's link tree in there. Let me put in our 10th and Main one more time. There's all your links. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us feed all of our hungry hippos. See you next time. Thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Bye.